everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I am your host, Lana Reid, and today on this day, I have the pleasure of sitting down with a gentleman by the name of Ty Brownlow. He's a fellow podcaster. He hosts the Word with Ty Brownlow, a very motivational, inspirational podcast that we're going to get to in a minute. But first and foremost, sir, as I always do, I take a quick moment to pause, say thank you to you for making time for me today. Time is a gift. Once we give it, we cannot get it back. So I truly appreciate you setting aside this time in your day to sit down and chat with me. And with that, Mr. Brownlow, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. welcome to the show.
Thank you. Look, first and foremost, as I said, and pretty much as we spoke earlier, it is an honor to be here. And, I look forward to, the time that we are going to spend together. So
awesome. I love it. So let me just jump into the podcast and get to talking about Word with Ty Brownlow. Let me ask, because, I always find it interesting when I find people doing this podcasting thing. Is media and podcasting a direction you were always going to go in, or is this a new lane for you?
This is a totally new lane for me, Lana. Let me just tell you, we are coming up on 4 years. I first launched Word with Ty Brownlow back in 2019, April of 2019 in Los Angeles, California. I was living out in LA with my wife, and my wife hosts her own platform, and she was doing stuff in studio. Okay. So I was the cameraman for my wife. I was running camera for her the whole time. I had no intentions on starting the platform at all. So we were at an outing. One of her friends or what have you, associates, invited us out to an outing, in Inglewood, I believe. And it was at this Jamaican restaurant, and we're sitting there, and I'm feeling up, man. I am feeling the vibes. I am feeling it. It wasn't a punch, it wasn't anything, foreign.
Yeah, no red stripes or nothing like that.
Nah, it wasn't no red stripes, nothing like that. No team, none of that, But I will say this, no Appletons, even, man, come on now. Anyway, but no, as we're sitting there, I just, have this, thing come over me. I'm just like, I think you should film a show in here and just have it like an island theme. And, you can do, all these wonderful things, this, that, what have you, man. Lana, I'm like plugging it. I'm like serving it, So I'm like, yeah, you can do this and blah, 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 and woo, 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 woo. And my wife just listens to everything. Everything I have to say, she listens to. And she just turns, she's like, yeah, if you feel that way about it, then why don't you host your own show and have it in here?
Okay.
So something in me was like, well, you know what the hell? My own show in here. So, that's basically what sparked Word with Ty Brownlow. And, when you're a kid, look, I'm just going to keep it real, y'all. Man, I'm an early 70s baby. I grew up totally different time. I'm one of the only kids that I know that had their own television in their room on my block here in Chicago, growing up on the West Side. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, man, I'm just plugging all that. But
you're still a baby. I'm a 69 baby. You still a baby.
Okay, all right. So look, something is, But no, but man, I remember watching Johnny Carson.
Yes.
I remember watching Arsenio when Arsenio had his show. Yes. Come on now, I was a kid then. Even Magic Johnson. Yeah. I remember when Magic Johnson had his own show. It didn't last long, but still, I remember.
You really showing your age now.
I'm sorry. But anyway, but I just remember like all these guys like David Letterman and like,
Yeah.
just like how they did their thing. And I've always loved radio. I always thought I was going to be a radio DJ.
Okay. Okay.
I always thought,
I can hear it. I can hear. What's the Chicago radio?
oh man, we got
Yeah,
V103.
that's it. That's
Yes.
it.
We got GCI. Now we got Power 102 or
Yeah.
Power 92 or something like that. So, but that's more new school than like the old school. Well, what you were not talking. But no. But that's what I always thought my lane would be.
Okay.
But I never really got into radio. I never got into voice work or any of that. And I just end up launching Word with Ty Brownlow. And we operate off the concept of no one is worthless, no story is worthless. And I pretty much came up with that concept. I'm going to wrap that story up real quick. So as a kid, I went to Catholic school, and I was fortunate enough to come across some brothers that, I really consider brothers,
Okay.
even till this day.
Okay.
But even some of the staff that I've met, some of the like attributes that they've like instilled, just in themselves over the years.
Okay.
And I remember this one teacher I had, Mr. Hall, I believe, and his whole concept was about how this man, Jesus, of course, pretty much like listen, to, those who really didn't have anybody,
Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
listening to them or what have you, like, look, okay, man, no one listens to you, no one takes you serious, no one, you are the voiceless. I want to hear what you have to say. Tell me what's going on.
Okay.
So, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. I operate from that concept. So whatever anybody got going on, especially like now, I've dedicated it more to a mental health platform. So I try to tell, stories or have people come on, pretty much to tell stories of mental health from all aspects, whether it be financial, whether it be spiritual, whether it be, health wise or what have you, or just straight up mental health. So
gotcha. Awesome. Much needed work, because especially with this COVID thing, everybody's just really like just all over the place now. So, we need as much mental health as we can get. I always tell people this podcasting thing is like a beast of its own. It's not for the faint of heart at all. What challenges have you had along the way?
How much time?
I got time.
Lana, how much time? Oh my God. Look, okay, so to what you just said, it's a beast of itself. And I don't really think people really realize what it really takes, how much time you really have to put in, to attribute to what you feel a successful podcast should be.
Okay.
Is it more about numbers for you, or is it about impact for you?
Yes.
Me, I pride my platform on the term informational content.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whether you listen to it, whether you not.
Gotcha.
Informational content. That's what I pride it on. That's what I stick to.
Gotcha.
So I don't really worry about the numbers per se, because the impact that I'm trying to do, overall is going to outweigh whatever number, somebody clicks on. Because, man, look, challenges are going to happen. And I'm just going to keep it real. A lot of people out here start their podcast with that like notion that their podcast is going to blow up because they are who they are. And because you're popular in whatever small frame, because at the end of the day, no matter how big you think you are, man, the frame is small.
It's
When you
small.
start talking about algorithms and like, you know,
The
insight
competition is
and this,
big.
that, and like competition and people who do what you do, you know,
Yes.
on a much bigger scale.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Like, you know, I don't really think you all, you know, really understand what it really takes and just to have the dedication to keep going.
Yeah.
Because as I said, if you're like numbers driven and you don't get the numbers, then all right.
That's it. I'm done with it. But if you're here for like you're here for the impact. I'm here to, I have a purpose, I have a calling, and that pushes you and drives you in a whole different way. I mean, I just, and like I said, I just see these podcasts popping up all over the place. I'm like, did you really think about this?
No, no. And, you know, I'll just tell you, you know, one thing I know for sure that a lot of them don't take into consideration is branding and marketing. You
Yes.
know, I've had these guests on my show, I've had them on my platform. You
Mhm.
know, that's why I say my platform is about informational content. You know, it doesn't matter what you're trying to market or what have you. In this digital age, you know, everything's a brand. You're a
Mhm.
brand, Lana. I'm a brand. You
Mhm.
know, it's all about how we market
You're a
ourselves.
brand wearing a brand.
I'm wearing a brand. Okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? You know, but there's a brand behind it, you know? I mean, but like all these things, you know,
Mhm.
and it's about how you like market that.
Okay.
And I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I am still learning. I don't know everything there is to know. I am still learning, but I can tell you this: I know more now than what I did in 2019 when I first
Mhm.
started. And you know, just like my value and my network is much more bigger now
Yeah.
than what it was back then.
Okay.
So just let me say something else. You know, to what you were just talking about, like I've man, look. I remember when I first started, you know, my platform, and um, from time to time, I have, you know, my show broadcast on um, television in Long Beach, here in
Okay. Okay.
Chicago, and in Manhattan.
Okay.
Um, but still, I would run even frat brothers who would come to me and be like, well, you know, how much money? What's the money like? What's this like? What's that like? You
Mhm.
know, and I'm like, well, you know, it isn't what you think it is. Well,
Yeah.
it's not making you this, then I don't know why you would, you know, be doing it. I'm like, let me explain something to you. A lot of stuff that you all see behind the scenes, a lot of the stuff you all watch, and these people that you think are getting like these deals and these
It's not
like
it.
money and this and the other, it's not what you think.
Not what you think.
It is not what you think. So, you know, I try to also talk about those misconceptions as well on my platform from time to
Mhm.
time as well. So I try to cover the whole gamut, you know.
Gotcha.
So man, it is so funny that you even asked that question about
Challenges.
starting.
How often do you produce content?
I take breaks.
Okay.
But I just started taking breaks. So to go back to what you just finished talking about, you know, content, you have to know when to say no.
Mm.
You have to know when to say no. You know, I mean, even now, you know, I have to know when to say no because I'm looking to take my brand much higher, you know,
Gotcha.
and I
Okay.
can't expand it if I'm stuck here, you know, doing, you know, pretty
Okay.
much what it is that I love, which I don't mind, but I want to get more into this side where I'm doing you know, where I'm being interviewed and I'm taking the brand to a much higher level.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
you know, you have to have time to do both, you
Hmm.
know, and I think that's what makes a successful brand as well. So you have to take breaks to find out where you are, okay? Because burnout will happen. You'll get burnt out real quick. No matter how much you love doing it, you'll get burnt out
Hmm.
quick if you don't have a plan as to what it is you want to do with it. those are the things I've just learned along the way.
Gotcha. You know, you said you were around my age bracket, and we come from the era when you had the TV in your room where there was season breaks, and all you had to do was watch repeats. So we got to, take from that, like, okay, we're just gonna put this on repeat for a while the host takes some time.
No, because you need that. And, you have to really, I think in terms of a business. So if this is a business and we're talking television and we're talking a network, okay, well, look here, man, if I feel what I'm putting out here may be getting a little too, I don't know, in one particular lane or what have you, okay. I may want to like slow that up a little bit.
Okay.
Refresh,
get some
regather
diversity.
myself.
Okay.
Boom. Okay. You know what? Let's like step over here for a second. Let's step over here for a second.
Gotcha.
So with me, like, yes, I'll have musical guests on my show. I'll have, real estate agents on my show. I'll have entrepreneurs on my show. I have social workers on my show.
Gotcha.
I have psychologists on my show. So, you will always get a bevy of different backgrounds, but I always try to tie it back to mental health in some shape, form, or fashion.
Okay, because we all need that. Okay, I got you. So we touched on COVID a couple of times here. Did COVID impact the podcast or life in general for you?
Man, COVID did impact the podcast, but in a positive way, because before I started, and if you go to my website, tybrownlow.com, which I'm going to plug later anyway, but
still, we can get it all in as much time, as many times as we can.
Okay, all right, cool. But if you go to my website, tybrownlow.com, you will see like my earliest interviews, like when I first started, was face to face. I had some dear people, be my first guest that I met when I first got to LA. Okay. And, to just tell their sides of, their transitions, from where they were to coming to LA and what brought them there and what, this, that, and, what have you. And, those interviews were done face to face. But then once COVID hit, and the studio that I was doing my interviews in shut down, we went viral. And we've been viral ever since.
Oh, wow.
Where like even now, but that was a blessing for me because everything that I was doing was in the LA area. So it was kind of hard starting off, trying to get guests here and there. Okay. And but once I went viral, boom, I can be anywhere, everywhere. And, some of those relationships, have developed into many friendships now. Yeah. And hopefully, those will turn into like some business partnerships where I can travel to some of these places where to some of these people that I've interviewed and do some panels and some workshops or what have you there in their communities or what have you. And, just continue to develop, those ties because my thing is this, and I look at a platform like yours, okay? Like your platform, and you have interviewed a lot of people. You have spoken to a lot of people, all right? I mean, a lot of men as well, okay? You connected with a bunch of men from all over this country, even international. If you really wanted to put something together, there are people that you could draw from, and you have this platform to thank for that.
Yes, indeed.
So once you set your mind to whatever it is that you really want to do, hey, you know what, man, let me go get this person. Let me go get that person. Let me go get this person. Let me go get this person. And we can have our own international symposium or whatever of what it is that we really want to talk about as Black men. Yeah. So that's a resource,
built a network.
It's a network, and you are a resource because you have connections to all these different people. You may not know them personally or whatever, but they've been on your platform and they do know who you are. True. And judging, just by my time, currently here, I'm pretty damn sure that they've had themselves a great time, just like I'm having right now. So
Awesome.
I'm just saying,
I
I
love
mean,
it.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
you know,
Thank
you know.
you so much. Well, let me ask you, let me segue just a little bit here. Just getting a beat on your personality and your energy, and we're talking about COVID and everything. Were you because you seem to be a little extroverted? Were you rocking back and forth? We're talking about mental health and everything. Was it rough on you personally?
A little bit.
Especially talk about the studio had to close down and there's no
studio had to close down. So look, okay, so I ain't even paint this picture for you. Okay, so look, Lana, I get married in 2018.
Oh, not long. Okay.
So it wasn't that long before COVID.
Yeah.
I get married in 2018, June of 2018. So, we coming up on 5 years, I mean, come on, boy. If you don't do it, boy, if you don't do it. No, just like that. But no, so I get married June 2018, leave Chicago to move to LA. That's where my wife was living at the time.
Weather's better. Weather's better.
Oh, come on. Oh, look here.
No brainer.
Look here. I was like, no snow, my knees ain't, oh boy, look here. I was, woo, dancing up out this bad boy here, Lana. Dancing, okay? Dancing, and I'm looking in the airport, grooving, okay? Grooving on my way on that plane. Like, like, I tell you right, man. It's like, yeah, baby. I'm good, man. What time the plane?
I don't need all these 4 layers of clothes.
Man, look here. Got rid of all them jackets. Got rid of them. I got rid of them. Okay. I didn't look. It wasn't no man. Look here.
Don't need the beanie to cover the ears.
What? Ordered like 8 pairs of linen pants, boy. Like, look here. I'm kicking it. I don't need this no more. But you know what? I'll take a hoodie. I'll just take a hoodie.
Every now and then you need that. Just for style. Just for style.
You know what? Just as a memento.
Hoodies with some flip-flops on.
Man, look. Linen pants, linen. Okay.
Ain't nothing like a Chicago brother in them clothes.
Somebody now.
Ain't nothing like a Chicago brother in some clothes, I'll tell you.
Ooh. But I mean, man, so you understand my excitement. I was like, I am gone, peace, I'm out. So to leave this atmosphere, everything that was here, just that mentality to go somewhere else. Even though I found out what living in LA was really all about. Yeah, like COVID, it did do a number a little bit, but I will say this, and I was just talking to my wife about it. I talk to my wife about it all the time. As much damage as COVID did for a lot of other people, the one thing COVID did for my wife and myself is brought us together.
Awesome.
And I believe COVID really strengthened my marriage.
Great. I love it. Well, let me ask you, since we're talking about marriage and your wife, and I was reading this article a few weeks ago about how younger men are saying they're foregoing marriage. They don't see any value in it. They don't see any worth in it. And since you've expressed, how COVID brought you and your wife together, if you were talking to some young men, they were in front of you, what would you say to them or about the advantages of getting married?
Well, I will say this, and this is funny, because my son is 21, and
so he's in that generation I'm talking about.
He's in that generation that you're talking about. but if I was talking to him or any male or female, but in this case, males, and you're talking about getting married, I would say first, congratulations for being, enlightened to get to the point where you feel as if you want to spend your life with someone. Great. But B, I would I don't know, seriously, I would question, because I would really ask them, what are your values on relationships? How do you really see relationships?
Gotcha.
Because we all have thoughts on what marriage is. And, you may have parents, you may have siblings, you may have an aunt, uncle, or whatever. They may have been married, years or what have you, but their dynamic is their dynamic. Gotcha. What is your real dynamic? What's your true dynamic about partnership? What do you really consider submissive to be? Because these are going to be things that are going to happen once you involve yourself in a union with someone. There's going to have to be sacrifice. There's going to have to be compromise. There's going to be transition. How do you really handle transition? How do you personally handle transition?
Yeah. Good points.
It's not really about them sometimes. It's really about how do you handle these things? Because your partner is going to be your partner. The person that you're trying to, marry and be with, they're going to be them. They're showing you who they are. Now, we could either live with that or we could move on for that. If we live with that, then we live with that. We learn how to work with it. And if it's something toxic or whatever, then we work to to try to eliminate or move away from that.
Gotcha.
To a totally different direction.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's what I would really honestly say, because at the end of the day, you have to be truthful with yourself, regardless of what you think you want. You really have to know who it is you truly are, because you're going to be tested at
every level of it. And I think that's a good point there. You have to know yourself, you have to be true to yourself. I think a lot of young people are going into relationships not even having that together, and it just throws everything off kilter. But I just found that interesting. I read that article and then you were talking about marriage, but let me shift back. Because I can go all over the place. That's what happened. That's what happened when you get.
Girl.
That's what happened when you get seasoned. You'd be talking about, apples are on sale, and did you see the stock market? So it's seasoned people.
Girl, look here, man. I lost all my money in SMB Bank. Come on now, no.
The people. Anyways, I was on your YouTube channel, I think it was, and I also see it there. No cap kickback.
No cap kickback. Okay, so no cap kickback. You talked about podcasts, correct? So we were talking about podcasts earlier. No cap kickback is, and I can't say was because I haven't given up on it, but no cap kickback is my own personal teen summit. So for those of you who are like, well, what the hell is a teen summit? Okay, so no cap kickback is basically my teen version of Word With Ty Brownlow, where I talk to youth about the amazing thing about the amazing things that they're doing in their neighborhood, or personally, if it's something worldwide, community, what have you, it really doesn't matter. I've had teens on my show who are doing great community work, who are giving care tote bags to the homeless. I've had teens on there that are, they model, they sing, they rap, they do a whole bunch of stuff and have big personalities. And, I just really have had some teens on there, actresses, actors, or what have you, but they're just really making the impact in their own worlds or what have you.
Okay, awesome. So have you worked with young people for long, or that was just?
Yes.
Yes.
Look. So, okay, man, a little bit about me. I have, my bachelor's is in psychology.
Okay.
Right now, I am currently getting my master's in healthcare administration. I'm getting my
Okay.
MBA. I was getting my master's in professional counseling, but just time restraints
Yeah.
and things of that nature, just man. So
Okay.
I still love mental health. I've just shifted gears, but I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of work in mental health.
Okay.
But before all of that, man, I have 10 plus years in education as a teacher's
Oh,
aide,
okay.
as a coach or what have you, man,
Okay.
just in mentor, substitute,
Okay.
whatever, like I've been in education for 10 plus years. So I've worked with youth, I've tutored them, I've done everything. I still have youth that I mentor now that are pretty
Awesome.
much adults,
Awesome.
but of course they, you know how it is. Like, yes, like, look, you were a child a very long time ago. It's kind of hard to think of you as the sixth grader that you once were when you have
Gotcha.
more facial hair than me right now.
Gotcha.
That's kind of hard to really, man, but no, like I still love it because, the fact that you have had an impact on someone's, life, that they still come back and they refer to you
Yeah.
and they talk to you. I've actually had someone refer to me as the fun uncle. I didn't know how to feel about it at first, but now I embrace it now because,
Okay.
hey, if I'm the fun uncle, I'm just a fun uncle.
That's right. That's
You
right. That's
know.
right. Whatever way we get in there to mentor these young folks, because
However it is, however it is. So,
woo-wee.
but no, I would just say this, about the youth of today. And I know, like, yes, there's people our age and older, the elders, as we say, who, they just really like to give the flack, and but I feel as if I've met a lot of,
True.
young adults who are out here doing spectacular things and
Yeah.
they're really out here making a difference. So
Okay.
don't always go off what you see and hear on social media, this and the
Yeah.
other, because there are like some young people, there are a lot of young people out here who are
Yes.
positive and they're, man, making a difference in the world. And we need to encourage them, to be them best self, to be their best selves.
Yeah.
And really, some of them, Lana, they need guidance, because as great as some of them are in the avenues that they are in, they're still young, they're still
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah.
So, we should like really reach out and embrace them and, honor them. And even the ones that's,
Oh, it needs a little direction, just a little. Let me help you turn the car a little
right,
bit.
and, look, and seriously, I've had pretty much as I've said, I've had a lot of social workers on my platform.
Okay.
I just had like a social worker on my platform just a few days ago, and I had asked the question. I was like, "Well, why do you think there aren't any, male social workers? Why aren't there a lot of male social
Mm-hmm.
workers?"
Mm-hmm.
And, she just kept it real. She was like, because the profession's not geared towards males.
Okay.
When you think of social workers, you think of women,
Okay.
and, just an interesting fact for those of you who don't know, if we're talking about licensed clinical social workers, only 20% of all clinical social workers, licensed clinical social workers, are Black. They're Black, 20%.
So we don't even have somebody to have face-to-face consultations with that look like
Man.
us. It's kind of like the teaching industry, though. There's minimal Black or male teachers, for that matter.
Okay. So, Lana, let me let you in on a little something. Okay. And look, this is my perspective, but I'm pretty damn sure there's a good percentage of like other male teachers, administrators, and our staff who
Yes.
will agree with me,
Mm-hmm.
when I say sometimes it's not the kids. It's it's the admin.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you're talking about a straight Black man
Mm.
In education, that could be intimidating
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Because they have that image of what's that movie? Clark. What is it?
Oh man, lean on me. I'm
Yeah,
Joe Clark. I'm coming in here with the
walking
baseball.
around with the
You know,
baseball bat.
right.
Yeah.
They used to call me Crazy Joe. Now they gonna call me Batman. No, come on now. You smoke crack, don't you, boy? No, no, yes you do. You
Yeah,
know,
they want you all to be like that.
you know, like no, like I'm not coming in Joe Clark. You know, so
Yeah.
now I mean, if that's what I got to do, you
Mhm.
know, to get my point across, fine. But that's really not who I am. You
Yeah.
know, case in point. When I made the transition from Chicago to LA,
Mhm.
moved to LA, and in my mind, LA was everything I had seen on TV, everything that I had heard in a song, everything I had seen on a movie, everything that I had no man. That was my concept of LA.
Oh, baby.
No, I mean, but you have to understand. You have to understand, you know, like dude from the Midwest, man. Now, if you talk about New York, yeah, I done been there. I can tell you what New York is like.
Yeah.
Man, Miami, yeah, I could take that. Please. Baltimore, yeah, I could tell you what all man, St. Louis, you ain't man.
Detroit, all that.
Detroit, man, I could tell you all day long what that's like. Okay, that ain't nothing. All right. But you're going to LA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is a little bit different. So when I get to LA and I worked at an alternative school,
Okay.
in Culver City.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna paint that scene because
Okay.
man, you talk about UCLA
In the trailers, it was an alternative school in the trailers, or just
no, they were not in the trailers. As a matter of fact, pavilions, if you're familiar with them, pretty sure you're familiar with that.
Okay.
It was right across the street, and this big old mall. Target is right over yonder.
I got you.
I'm just gonna put that scene in your head. So if you ever in the area, like,
I know the area. Okay.
So yes, over in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But now these kids were bussed in from all over LA. So now that's how I got to know LA. That's how I got to know the students that I was like teaching. Because see, here in Chicago, it's different. I just show up to the school and okay, yeah, kids are just coming in from all over or what have you. Like, yes, there are certain kids that get bussed in, but
now, yeah. That's not to cut you off. That's new to me. Bust into an alternative school? Mm-hmm. That's new to me. I
bust into the alternative school because of where the alternative school was. You know, you just not coming up in there.
Oh, okay.
We're not coming up in there. You know,
I got you.
You know, like that. But no, like these kids were bussed in from all over, and you know, I had a route. So I got to know the kids on my bus and some of the kids in the school by the bus route. Okay. And I got to really see where they, you know, how they lived, where they lived. And, you know, those things really changed my perspective of who they were as people, you know, and, you know, for me, that's where everything just turned around.
Gotcha. What do you think makes you relatable to the young folks since you work with them so much? Because, you know, there is this generation gap where they say, oh, them seasoned folks, they don't understand us. They don't know what makes you relatable, you think?
Just experience.
Okay.
You know, like I speak on what I know.
Okay.
And what I don't know, you know, but, I mean, I talk about transition a lot, you know, and you're going to transition through life. And well, if you're out here doing dumb stuff, hopefully you make it to the point where you can transition from that transition life. But, you know, for a lot of young men out here, you know, who are walking the straight and narrow, but they just have no path, you know. I talk to them a lot and, you know, I tell them, man, I too was like you. I didn't know what I was going to do in life. Like, man, everything that I'm doing now, yeah, but This comes later in life
Mhm.
that I found my like perspective or what have you. There were opportunities that, you know, I missed because I was naive or, you know, my ego took over or what have you. And those things will happen to you. You have to know how to bounce back from that. You have to know how to move on from that. You may have, you know, made this type of reputation for yourself at a young age.
Okay.
If you're lucky enough to get older, how do you transition from that view that people have seen you at a
Pick
young
yourself
age
up, dust yourself off.
to now, you know? So I speak a lot about that, you know, and, you know, just how at times in life you would do things that you don't want to do, but if you think about your gifts and talents and what's really for you, you know, you will learn in life your talents are not meant for you. Your
Mhm.
talents are meant for the world.
That's right, to
So
give
you
back.
must give them to them.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, sir, I think I have taken up more than your 30 minutes that I was allotted today. But I don't care. I don't mind.
Hey, look here, I love it. I love it, man. Hey, look here, I'm jamming. I'm
I
having a
love
great
it.
time.
I love it. I'm gonna ask you my random question, but before I ask you my random question, I have one more question to ask because you mentioned you have visited New York
Mhm,
and you are from Chicago, right?
mhm.
My personal beef. Which pizza is best?
Oh, Chicago all day. Come on now. You know what? They ain't even a question. First of all, I'm gonna say this.
It's
No, 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 no.
it's bread and a whole bunch of
No, no,
sauce.
no, 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 no. Look here. I was in Queens, right? Right over there by Met Stadium.
Uh-huh.
This spot claims that they had like the best pizza in the area or what have you. I'm like, okay, cool. I go over here, you know, man, I'm like, yeah, let me get like a slice or whatever. First of all, they didn't even have like any like, you know, pies made up and like cut up or what have you, like giving out slices. So they had to go in there and like make whatever they had to make. Lana, when I tell you they brought out my 2 slices of pizza, right? I don't know what this was because this wasn't pizza. Like it was cardboard with maybe like hot dog shavings on it. I don't know what the hell this was, you know, with just a splash of cheese and sauce. So I'm like, yo, this is, look, I've had bad pizza. I've been away at college. I know what bad food tastes like. Okay. I've suffered enough in my life to know what bad food tastes like. Okay. Look, I mean, this ain't even government cheese satisfactory. Okay. This is worse than that. All right. This is worse than government cheese satisfactory right now. I don't really know what the hell to call this. Okay. Like if I sent this to hell, they will send it back to me and they will smack me in the face with it. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go over there. I don't even know what I ate. I think I had some jerky or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad time. It was a bad experience. So that's it.
Chicago pizza just heavy though. It's just two
Now,
inches of
okay.
2 inches of crust and then 2 inches of cheese.
So
And
I will tell you this. Lana. Okay, real quick. People, I know y'all hear about the pizza. Y'all be like, oh, it's so thick. Da, da, da. Yo, as a true Chicagoan, even true Chicagoans will tell you, we do not eat stuffed pizza. You always get the thin. You get the thin. You get the corners. You get the man, boy.
I'll give y'all a try one more time, but I'm like,
So look here, no, Lana. Okay, Lana. I tell you what, you come to Chicago, man, we will exchange information. I'm gonna get you some Italian Fiesta. All right. I'm gonna get you some home run in. I'm gonna get you some beggars, even though, you know, like my wife likes beggars, you know, I'm sort of like prone to it now because I got to do what she say.
I got a wife now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't want to get no shoe thrown at me, you know, in the middle, you know, the night or whatever. But no, but you know, man.
Okay, I'll give y'all a try. You still on the west side?
No. South side now.
Oh, you on the south side now? Okay. All
South
right.
side now. South side originals, you know, I mean, they didn't gentrify the west side now, you know. I mean, I don't even know what the hell it looks like.
Say, don't look like, and I don't see too much of this anymore. I guess that's
Man, I
why
don't see no my man. I'm like, wait a minute,
we should have known that was coming when they started tearing down Cabrini Greens and all of that stuff.
man,
We
come
should have
on now.
known. We should have known.
Mm.
Oh well. Anyways,
That's for a whole nother day there, Lana. That's a whole nother story.
Let's go here and talk about this random question here because that's a whole nother podcast. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got.
I'm excited.
All righty. Is the missus around somewhere?
She probably upstairs somewhere.
Okay. If your partner were to surprise you, what would be the ideal date for them to take you on? So we can get her some brownie points here.
Wow, that is a good. Damn it, Lana, that's a great question.
Yeah.
If the missus were to
surprise you, what would be the ideal date for her to take you on? I'm about to get her some brownie points.
Wow. Oh God. Oh. Okay, so look, if she was around, what I would say is to surprise me. A trip to Africa where we can go ATV riding.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So when the podcast drops, we could just kind of slide that her way.
Oh man, no, I'm gonna show slide that man. Like you know what? You should listen to this particular part right here. You know what? I sort of queued it up for you.
Right here. You ain't even got to fast forward. It's right here.
Fast forward. Just
right to the side. Just click play.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I made it a reel for you. I put it on my Instagram. You know what? I made it just for you, girl. Just for you.
Just for you. Now that's original. ATV and okay, all right.
ATV
now I've gotten to Africa before, but not the ATV. Now that's a new little element there. Okay.
Because you know what? I like that type of atmosphere. I like the, or man, it could be like the little domes or whatever, but no, like man, Africa is a place I've always wanted to visit.
Okay.
Maybe Ghana, the Congo, South Africa, definitely.
Okay.
I've had some people on my platform there in Cape Verde off the eastern coast.
Oh, the Portuguese and the Africa combined. Yes, Cape Verde Islands. Yes.
So man, they're there, and man, just some of the things that they've talked about, just have inspired me. So yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, I got quite a few friends who are from Cape Verde. They're all up in Boston. That's usually where they hang out.
Yes, I have. Man, you know what? I have one on my show. She's you said Boston. I'm like, yeah, you know what? She's from Boston, and she talked about the Patriots and like the Celtics all damn day. I'm like,
yeah. A lot of them are in Boston, but anyways, like I said, we would probably be on here forever. So I know where to go when I need try me some pizza again. I know I'm gonna go on and get you to the call.
No, you gotta connect with me.
I'm gonna try
to connect with me. I'm gonna make sure you're good.
It was. I was.
Yeah. See, no. See, Lana, no, Lana, you need a. Okay, real quick. My very first job, I was a tour guide of the Loop and Lakefront. Okay. So at 16 years old is when the very first time I got up in front of people, started talking, I was a tour guide. I had to give tours. The tips were great. But man, so yes, you need a tour guide. I will be your tour guide. I'm a natural tour guide anyway.
No, I've crept through Chicago quite a few times, but I just ain't never been a fan of the pizza.
Gotcha.
Well, Mr. Brownlow,
yes, ma'am.
Please tell us how we catch the podcast, how we connect with you, and all of that good stuff.
Thank you. You can follow me on all social media platforms. And when I say all social media platforms at Word With Ty Brownlow. TikTok is No Cap Kickback, but that's under Word With Ty Brownlow. You'll find both Word With Ty Brownlow and No Cap Kickback there. Twitter, Ty Brownlow TV, where you will see the Word With Ty Brownlow logo.
Okay.
Also, I have a website, tybrownlow.com.
Okay.
You will catch all of my interviews, get to know everything about me. If you want to, book yourself to be a guest on the show, you can book yourself there under the contacts page. And, myself or my team will be, in contact with you to be a guest. Other than that, man, reach out to me, leave me a message, let me know how you like me here on, Miss Lana's show, man, the real over here,
All
so.
righty. That's right. And we all got to get together and start getting some donations together so Miss Brownlow can take you on that trip to Africa with the ATV. So
ATV, come on, y'all.
We're gonna have to do some teamwork here to get that going.
All right. Yeah. Girl, I like the way you think.
All right. Hey there. So, Mr. Brownlow, I have truly enjoyed myself today. I hope I have made my amends for having some other brothers from Divine Nine before you. I hope I have redeemed myself.
Yes, you have. Okay, all is forgiven.
I appreciate it. Much success to you and the missus and everything your hand touches. Just much success coming your way.
Thank you. I enjoyed myself, Lana, and thank you for what it is you're doing. Keep doing what it is you're doing because it is important. And, man, brothers, look, support her because she supported us. So there it is. I'm out.
That's all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time. Oh.